ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
Jared, hey, we're gonna need you to tone it down with the Summer Friday thing, okay?
What are you talking about?
Well, for one, it's not summer anymore.
Oh, really?
Coconut. Also, who is this?
I'm the caddy.
Oh, he's my intern?
Sorry, intern. I'm his intern.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
No golfing in the office, okay? Summer Fridays are over. You can keep the Hawaiian shirt, but the rest of this stuff, all right? Are you grilling?
Oh, yeah. Did you want a burger or a hot dog?
No, grilling in the office.
That's a good point. We should take this outside.
No, that don't. You put that right back down.
Yo, it's all in the hips.
Oh, dude, come on, we gotta go. Let's go.
Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the co-host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and it's that time of the week for Re-Entry Monday, the closing bell for March 24th, 2025. Holy shit. 1 week left in the month of March, and boom, it's April, and Final Four on the 7th, Masters week after that, and we're cooking with Crisco. MLB, the true opening day Thursday. And there's so much to talk about. It seems like forever since I've talked to Riley. Life gets busy. I was in Chattanooga with Anthony Pepe, Mish, and the Food Truck Festivals team. What an event we put on Saturday in downtown Chattanooga. Shout out to everyone there. Shout out to our proud sponsors and partnerships. It's WagerWire. Travis, Zach, Guy, Amber Hawley, Matt, I miss you guys. I do. I hope all is well in your world. Go over to Google Play, download that app. It is free. I promise you we're going to have some fun with that moving forward. Viva Tequila Seltzer, 6 exciting flavors in all. The East Coast is cuckoo for coconut. Shout out to CT Bets, Austin, and the rest of that team and family as well. Last but never least, AtlantaSteaksandSeafood.com. Head on over to Facebook. Introduce yourself to Terry Smith. Jump back to AtlantaSteaksandSeafood.com. Steaks, chops, appetizers, seafood, wine. He's got everything. Order tonight. You could be grilling by Thursday. So without further ado, and I tell you what, this guy has been doing shows with me for a long time. I have to give credit where credit is due, and I know he didn't see this coming. What a performance by the Big Ten. I know we were talking SEC. Holy shit, the Big Ten came to play. Without further ado, Mr. Riley Magnuson. What's up, champ?
What is up, my friend? It is Re-Entry Monday, as you said it. We've got, I'm sure, plenty to talk about. Yeah, you said life gets busy. You mentioned you got your stuff going on. I had a bachelor party and getting ready for a wedding in a month. So my time is a little hectic right now. So I'm, trying to be available as much as I can. But and I do think I will be available. But nonetheless, fantastic week of sports action. Obviously, would have loved some little more Cinderella action. I think the underdog people. But nonetheless, I mean, we had some great games in the round of 32, especially. For the tournament. Not to mention, if it wasn't just that, you had a fantastic finish in the Valspar Championship in the PGA for, I'm sure a lot of people who either maybe you're not tuned into golf yet in March, or obviously you're concerned about the NCAA tournament The return, the reemergence of Victor Hovland spoils the kind of the 2025 coming out party of Justin Thomas, who obviously has been trying to get back to a certain level himself. But I mean, Hovland, shout out to him. We've talked about him a lot. He was at a point last time we saw him when he was winning where he looked like he was about to be a perennial top 5 player, kind of getting the same respect as Xander, and some of those other guys. But finally back in the winner's circle, still kind of gave an interesting post game, kind of interview as far as where his confidence level has been and how frustrating it's been the last year and a half. But shout out to both those guys. The game is better with both those guys in the mix. And so that one was a fun one to watch the end there. It's tough for anyone who's a Justin Thomas fan, obviously, because he had his chances. But nonetheless, glad to see both those guys back in action and in contention on a nice tournament.
Well, funny story. Leaving Chattanooga yesterday morning, and we had literally a 22-minute flight to Atlanta with a 3-hour layover. So we're sitting in our seats. We're flying Delta. Sitting in the airport, and I'm just following the basketball. UConn and Florida, we'll get to them on my phone. And the woman comes on the mic and goes, "We overbooked by 5 seats." It's like, okay. Goes, the first 5 people that come up and want to sit for 3 hours and get on the 6 o'clock flight, we're offering $400. So Anthony's looking at me, and I'm like, I kind of want to get home. We were supposed to land in Boston at 5:35. I have my daughter who's in Charleston to pick me up. So I tell my family, hey, they're offering $400 here. And it's instantly, it's an American Express Visa or whatever, digital. They send you an email, you click, you put it in your wallet, and it's instantaneous. And I'm just sitting there. I see 1 person, 2, and 3. Now I get antsy, and I asked her, "You get this automatically?" "Yes." "Do you automatically get on that 6 o'clock flight?" "No question." "Yes, sir." "All right, sign me up." So she couldn't get the 5th, so she goes, "We need another person. It's $500." Now I'm like, she goes, "Don't worry, you get the 5. If it goes to 1,000, you get 1,000." Now I'm like, all right, how am I going to spend it? I'm going to go get lunch. So what they do now is 15 minutes before they start boarding, they call all the people on standby and the people that haven't checked in. So they're loading. There was a family of 3 that got there too late. "Sorry, we're overbooked. You missed your flight." There was 2 stewardesses trying to get on late to jump on. You can't get on. And I'm like, all right, this is going to work out perfect. Now the 5 people. She calls number 1. "You can board. We don't need your seat. You can board. We don't need your seat. You can board." And then she looks at me, "Mr. Dawson, I'm sorry. We don't need your seat." I'm like, damn it. I'd already told myself I'm going to get $500 for sitting for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I get in my plane, put my headphones on, and I turn the golf on. And Justin Thomas, man, he was on fire. He had the walk. He was walking the putts out. I was like, that's the JT I know. And I'm a big Hovland fan. And then he got to 16, and there was a 29-mile-an-hour wind blowing in his face, and he hit driver. And I'm like, that was a Phil Mickelson. I'm like, hit the iron, get it in the fairway. And then Hovland chased him down. So it was great to see both of them back. I think I would have really liked to see JT get in the winner's circle because Victor really had been struggling, miscut, and win. I knew he'd be back eventually, but it was great to see them both. Hats off to both, but Victor got him.
Yeah. I know you kind of said it. I mean, it would have been in a perfect world. JT's been circling the wagons here for the last handful of weeks in the end of last year, so we've kind of seen the reemergence of JT, and this would have been the cherry on top. Whereas Hovland, this is the first. I mean, even the start of this year, he still looked like a shell of himself. So it would have been fine to, for being fans of both of them. You're like, all right, get Hovland, a top 3 finish, get his feet back wet in a big Sunday, and then just to close on golf. The crazy thing about JT bogeying 2 out of the last 3 is he was, I think, going, after the 10th or 11th hole, they flashed he was 9 under on the back 9 for the tournament, even on the front 9. So it's like, all right, and he had a 1 or 2 shot lead at that point. It's like, all right, man, this is his. He's got it, like you said, and he was had the swagger, and then obviously just couldn't get it done in the end. And Hovland, obviously, the last handful of holes turned it on himself. So glad to see both those guys. Billy Horschel, nice weekend as well, and then a couple of other guys. Schauffele, 5 under, kind of kicking getting the wheels turning a little bit. We may see him, kind of rise in the ranks on some of these tournaments in the next few weeks, and obviously. 2 or 3 more weeks, whatever it is. I think 3 weeks until Masters. So we'll have some names that'll be getting ready to rock and roll at Augusta in a few weeks.
Yes, and that's what Schauffele's plan is, obviously. Get the feet wet, get the rust off, get yourself in form for the week of April 8th and on for the Masters. I did not see a lick of the UFC this weekend. What did I miss?
Yeah, I didn't watch too much of it myself, other than a couple of the main fights. You had for a fight night, it was a pretty good main card, trying to obviously entice you with plenty of other options. Meatball Molly loses, but I believe she went out on her sword. Rick calls it a career after that one. Kevin Holland, always a boost to any card that you got, gets a nice win there. Jan Blachowicz always have trouble with that one. Another loss himself. We haven't seen the best of him in a few fights, but this is the first time that he fought someone that isn't, Glover Teixeira, Alexander Rakic, Ankalaev, Pereira. So not sure what we see, how much we'll see out of Jan in the future. He's 42, so I haven't with March Madness in golf. I didn't look at too much post-fight stuff, so I actually don't know what Jan's next steps are. But someone who was obviously a monster a few years ago, still not that far, as far as fights are concerned, not that far removed from that. And then the main one is concerned, Sean Brady, just a nice showing over Leon Edwards, who he himself is still only a couple fights away, removed from, having the belt, losing the fight before that's losing his belt to Bilal Muhammad. So obviously going to see Leon Edwards, but, he wins the fight on kind of last-second shocker against Kamaru Usman, and then the next 2 years are kind of history for him, where he's kind of on cruise control. All due respect, he's a fantastic fighter. So I think we're going to see Leon Edwards get a couple more shots. I think this was, his best chance to get back to it immediately. So I think that opportunity, obviously, unless he gets hot again, he's 33. I think his best chances at a title are kind of behind him, whereas Sean Brady, now only 1 loss, is obviously on the opposite end, and kind of going to be ascending and getting a title shot here in the future, or that whether this was or the next one is the fight before the title shot, to be seen. But only saw a couple. Did not watch the full fight card with full slate of college basketball and golf going on, but. Unfortunately, it was a decent card for being a little too loaded, where it has to kind of be the the third fiddle, fourth fiddle in some situations. Otherwise, would have had a lot stronger eyes on this one.
And next week we'll have Lou on at Thursday, 3:00. We'll be back with Fight Night Fortunes. I think it's on Mexico City is where they'll be this weekend. So it'll be interesting to see what Lou has to say with that. I looked and maybe you can pull it up just to make sure I'm seeing this correctly. If you count from this week till July, there's only 5 fights. Am I reading this correctly? Or I went to ESPN and UFC schedule. We got a fight this week. And then what are you
talking? You might only be talking pay-per-view fights until July. I mean, we've got, I'm looking at the next 3 weeks. We've got, the March 29th and the April 5th, we got a fight night. Then the week after is UFC 314, 2 more fight nights before 315. So it might just be the pay-per-views, 5 pay-per-views leading into July. I don't know.
Okay, maybe that was it, because it looked like there was
fight nights lined up. Yeah,
there looked like there was a month off or something, and I was like, "Whoa, okay."
They don't have they don't have much after May 10th laid out and planned yet. That might also be what's leading to that. They have. I don't see anything on this for 316. I think they've got maybe 1 or 2 things maybe starting to get lined up for 317. So they only have the next month and a half really ironed out, and after that they've got a lot of question marks.
Okay, so that's what I'm seeing there. Go to MLB next. MLB, first pitch Thursday, opening day. the scary thing is the pictures of Mookie Betts. Mookie goes out to Tokyo with the Dodgers, gets sick, and there's a picture of him out there. He has lost like 20 pounds now and can't keep any food down. Obviously, a virus or something going on there. A little scared there for Mookie, but thoughts of baseball as we're getting closer. A lot of injuries popping up. McClanahan shut down. It reminded me of Dave Dravecky. Most people watching here don't remember that story. Dave had I want to say it was cancer, San Francisco Giant pitcher, and then he makes it all the way back, and as he was throwing, it looked like his arm just snapped off. It was like everyone go Google Dave Dravecky, and they'll probably on YouTube you'll see the picture that I'm talking about. I saw the picture of McClanahan as he threw a pitch, and it just like his arm, something happened, and he says the Tampa's playing it kind of coy, saying it's not something serious. He's going to miss some time, but had prayers, thoughts out to Mr. McClanahan trying to make it all the way back. But what are you seeing? What are you hearing? Anything in?
No, sorry. As far as MLB is concerned, I was trying to look up Dave Dravecky on the spot here, and all I'm seeing is pictures of him now with only one arm. So definitely something to go take a look at. But no, I mean, as far as my neck of the woods, obviously it is not a ton of excitement in White Sox land. As far as the north side is concerned, obviously not a great great experience, I'm sure, going over to Japan, but never great when you're coming up to what you say is what the most people concern is opening day, and you're already 0-2. So that's obviously 162 games. You gotta reset and start again there. But the Northsiders, not a ton of faith as far as being a true contender. Obviously, even a playoff team. Not a ton of faith as far as the Northsiders that I'm talking to on a mostly daily basis and getting the pulse of there. Not overly excited. I think they could be a little bit of an underachieving team and be a scrappy team. I don't think they're going to be a pushover by any means, but kind of in a weird spot for them organizationally right there, at least on the north side of things right now in Chicago.
Well, it's funny because, let me paint the picture to everyone. Everyone knows the Dodgers are the team to beat. Their under-over is 105.5. So Vegas is telling you they could go 106-56 if they play 162 games. Now, the NL West, the Arizona Diamondbacks are the team projected to be the second-place team. They are projected to be 16.5 games behind the Dodgers, and then the Padres, then the Giants, and of course the Rockies. So my point is, to go to Japan, you usually get a split in these Australia, Japan, or wherever you play it. You didn't get it. Okay, no shame in your game. You lost. You lost to probably obviously the NL West champs, and probably have the best record in the National League, maybe in baseball, we're assuming as well. So no shame in the games. And I'm hearing a lot of experts that are picking the Cubs to win that division. Are you shocked?
Yeah. No, I'm not shocked. That's why I'm saying, I'm playing them honestly, thinking they could be an underachieving team. They're obviously, nationally, I think there's people that think, they could be better than us. I mean, I think the jaded mentality here on the north side is that they, thought they were, a fine team last year that didn't get too aggressive, and they're just dying for them to be aggressive, and they're not, going all out to make this team a true World Series contender. But you're absolutely right. They are. I mean, they're a playoff contender. This division just isn't very good. You've got, teams obviously like the Brewers who on paper shouldn't have been as good as they've been probably the last couple of years. But have obviously organizationally been really, really sound, and have put good product on the field, and they end up winning tons of games. You expect them to regress to some degree. The Cardinals obviously are not in a spot, even where they're that team that hasn't done it but still have the guys. They've obviously lost a ton, so they're not really in a spot. And then you have the Reds, who obviously have all that young talent, but still a little too early, and they didn't put too many pieces, enough pieces together in the offseason. So I'm with you. I anytime I'm having these conversations with, my good friends, 80% of my close friends are all Cubs fans, and I'm trying to tell them that, are you going to beat the Dodgers in a 7-game series or a 5-game series or whatnot? No, you're not going to do that probably. Are you going to beat the Phillies or the Mets or whoever it might be in a 7-game series? I don't know. You never know these days. So they're not. I'm just giving you the pulse of the Northsiders that I talk to. I think they're going to be better than people realize in the fan base themselves. But a lot of it is because that division is so wide open, in my opinion. So if they were in a different division, then I guess I don't know. What my thoughts overall would be, but this is as winnable as winnable of a division as there is right now in the MLB.
Locally here, let me see what Tristan Campbell makes the team. The assumption is he's going to start at second base. We're going to have Bregman at third and Devers DHing, and it sounds like Yoshida will start on the IL. He's healthy. I don't know how you pull that off. What else? Richard Fitz will be in the starting rotation. Bello is not ready, and I don't think Giolito is ready as well. So Crochet, Crochet, Houck, Bueller, Fitz. I don't know what they're doing with Crawford, and Whitlock will be in the back end, I guess. Chapman as a closer as well. So again, I a lot of moving parts back there. Sox open up Thursday in Texas. Eovaldi versus Crochet. I'm going to send out some futures in the AL and NL Cy Young. I'll verbally pronounce to some of you guys. I like the price on Crochet. I think, again, 147 innings last year. I think he'll get close to 200 this year. His strikeout to walk rate has been off the charts. I'm just going to see how he pitches in Fenway Park. I love right now, the favorite is Tyreek Skubal. And again, there's nothing bad to say. You can get him at plus 350, I think. He should be the favorite, but a little meat on the bone with Crochet. And I think a dark horse is the kid from Kansas City, and that's Reagan's. In the NL, I mean, Skeens is less than 3 to 1. I think he's plus 250 there. I had a nice dark horse for everyone that's written down. Going to try. You got to take a shot, obviously, on Skeens. I mean, the guy's just filthy there. I do have a dark horse in Atlanta that I think Mr. Schwellenbach, I think, is around 22 to 1. I know Strider's back. He's not going to start the season, but he'll come back sometime in April or maybe May there when he's ready. Chris Sale. Thanks, but no thanks. He's not going to duplicate what he did last year.
No.
So interested there. But again, we'll be doing some more talk on Wednesday as we get ready closer to Thursday. March Madness. Now, guys, listen. I've been trying to stay off of social media. Again, I was in Chattanooga for the weekend, staying on top of March Madness as best as I can. It's changed, and what I mean it's changed is because of NIL. The Cinderellas are far and few. So what the mid-majors have now become is this. Riley, I love you to death. I want you to come over as a freshman. I'm going to pay you X. And we're grooming you now for the big leagues, meaning the SECs, the Big Tens, and the Big 12. So when you pop as a freshman, and here's the funny, we got through the first weekend. Now the transfer portal's already open. The NIL, the agents, everyone's talking to Riley because you just lost in the first weekend. And the coach is like trying to say, hey, Riley, we want you back as a sophomore. And you're like, nah, I'm going to take that extra zero. Instead of me getting 50,000, I'm getting 500,000 here from Arkansas. So your Cinderellas is gone. The closest we got was within 3.5 seconds when Riley's Maryland Terps decided to beat Colorado State in a barn burner and our first buzzer beater. But as I did in the intro, the stage is yours because I know you didn't expect what the Big Ten did the first weekend.
No, I mean, you and I talked about it. I didn't put any of these teams, and I can't say that I still put them in a conversation where I think, more than one of them can really cut down the dang Nets in a couple of weeks or so. But to see him go 8-0 in the first round or whatever it was not expecting that. You had some teams that were on upset watch. Because, I mean, the interesting about the everything that you just said there, it kind of shook out to where you had, there's, I think only 3 or 4 teams that were a 3-4 seed that didn't advance, maybe 5 teams, something like that. And you're right, we didn't have many Cinderellas. And so you had so many teams in that like 6 seed to 11 seed range that were power conference teams for the most part. have a lot of talent that at the end of the day, they just have flaws, whether it's coaching flaws, defensive flaws, offensive flaws, an injury, whatever it is. And even those teams couldn't really break through and pull off any of those, 6-7 point, spread upsets or whatever it is. So, it was interesting. I mean, you nailed it as far as, these smaller schools have become more of a breeding ground for the SEC, Big 10, Big 12 teams, whatever it is. And I think there could be some ebb and flow where there's still going to be years where we have some good Cinderella action. But at the end of the day, you're right. I mean, your best hope is that, the smaller schools below them feed them some studs. And that's how those teams, have some success. But it's harder to build those teams, because, 10 years ago, you would get a Cinderella team that's like 31-3. And they've played together for 4 years or 3 out of 4 years, and they're hell bent on playing together for some more time. And you still get that to some degree, and you get some teams that come together. You saw the camaraderie that McNeese State had and whatnot. But at the end of the day, the talent was just a little bit of too much of a discrepancy here, and obviously there's coaches that get poached from the smaller schools as well. So you got one today, Drake, the one team that looked like they could be another team that goes on a nice little run, loses their coach real quick. So it's going to be interesting in the Big Ten. Obviously, Illinois, another team that had some talent, but ultimately was flawed. You saw the carelessness they had with the basketball yesterday. The lack of, I mean, Kentucky was shooting the lights out, but the defensive effort from Illinois yesterday was rough. Wisconsin, obviously another one that lost in the round of 32 there. So, but you've got you got Maryland who survived, and credit to Colorado State if they pull a different draw for a couple different. You give them a different 4 or 5 seed, and I think they're still playing on. Maryland is a wagon; they didn't play that well, but this Maryland team, their starting 5 is so damn solid right now. But then you get obviously Michigan State handling business in the second half against New Mexico. And Purdue kind of quietly handling business in these first 2 games. Have not been, there was a moment, I think, in both those games. Maybe I'm mixing up their game with McNeese. They guess they were up pretty handily. There was a couple moments in the game against who they played in the first round, which I'm drawing a hard blank on at the moment. But High Point, where you see a team like that's got some guys that can shoot the lights out, and they're not shooting that well in the first half. And I remember texting my buddy, and I was like, man, if this kid gets going shooting 30-footers like Jimmer, I mean, we might have something here. And he kind of did, and for a second it looked like it. But at the end of the day, Purdue, I guess you give them one of the easier draws for the first 2 games, but now they got to get fed to the Houston Cougars, who obviously are a different animal right now. So I think the Sweet 16 is going to be really good. I think the Elite Eight is going to be even better, and from the Elite Eight on, Elite Eight games, the Final Four game, the championship games are going to be absolutely incredible, because you absolutely lose something with the Cinderella in the first weekend when you're not getting those upsets, but you're giving it back typically in these cases where you don't have Cinderellas, you're giving it back in amazing basketball when you got a 1-4, a 2-5, a 2-3 battling for the rest of the way here, as opposed to a team like High Point, maybe they win a couple games, but now it's their turn to play Houston, and they have to, they're still favored by, or underdogs by 20 points or whatever. So I think these next 2 weeks of basketball are going to be absolutely incredible. Maybe the Sweet 16 is still a little bit of that, where, these 1 seeds are probably still better than, their opponent. But at the end of the day, I think we're going to get 2 or 3 or 4 really good games Thursday, Friday, and I think we're going to get nothing but good games from the Elite Eight, Final Four, and championship.
I knew UConn would be in the 8-9 game. It was just a matter of who they put them up against, and it was the almighty Florida. I was in the airport following them. I guess as I was seeing, there was a point where UConn could have went up 8, and they missed a bunny. It was just not if, it was when. And they battled for 36, 37 minutes. Once Florida took the lead, I thought that was it. And hats off to Coach Hurley. Hats off for the run. Hats off this year. You could tell the writing was on the wall. I had said it all along here. And I'm not here to criticize the boys. They played their asses off yesterday. But at the end of the day, my take on the season was simple. They brought in 2 transfers. I didn't think Mahaney from St. Mary's turned into that shooter that we were hoping he was going to be the next Cam Spence. They brought over Terrace Reed from Michigan State, where he was probably saying, damn, I probably should have stayed. But again, he flashed and had moments. It was the McNeely show. And I said for them in the tournament, they would go as far as Caravan could take them. Caravan lost a lot of money. He was the last guy. 4 guys stayed and went into the NBA draft. He decided to come back to go for the three-peat. Just never had that Caravan year that we were hoping and expecting. And at the end, they were missing Sonogo. They were missing Klingigan. They didn't have that body in the middle that always protected the rim. Slam Johnson just too small and thin to be that rim protector. So it was a great run. You fought your asses off. Be interesting to see what Hurley does, obviously, in the transfer portal. He left pissed off, saying he thought he got screwed by the refs, yada, yada, yada. It was just they didn't have enough firepower to compete at that level. That switch, they beat Oklahoma. They beat Oklahoma, but at the end, Florida was just too much.
Right, and now I'm curious to see what if this springboards Florida. They've got to play a tough Maryland team obviously next, so it could be another sweaty one for them. But I think a lot of people going into this tournament, the way the last month of the regular season went and beyond, Florida became one of the 2-3 teams that people respected the most, and I think the stretch that they had to win that game was part of it there. So I'm curious to see what we get out of that Maryland Florida game, because it could be an unbelievable game, or it could be just Florida has the momentum now and is gonna kind of go box to wire in these next couple of games potentially. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this upcoming weekend so much. Only one spread under 4.5 in the Sweet 16 game, so we could have some that might be some double-digit victories. But I think we'll get a few good games out of this Thursday, Friday slate of Sweet 16 games.
All right, shout out to Brad. Shout out to D4L. Shout out to Caro Bucks. I miss you too, guys. It was did a show Tuesday, did a lot of marketing for WagerWire down in Chattanooga, spreading the word for you guys. And we're back. We're going to be stronger than ever here. Travis, Zach, if you guys are listening, God bless you guys. Hope to get a show this week with Travis here on what's going on with WagerWire. Again, if you haven't already, download the app at Google Play. WagerWire, the best in the business. These guys are just phenomenal, and their app is second to none there. Looking at, I guess your Cinderella would be BYU right now, and they're playing Alabama. Opened at 171.5, now 175. First one to 90 will win that game. Probably it's who's hitting the threes there. Arizona and Duke. Arizona 9. It opened at 9.5, now 9-point underdogs. This Duke team, I mean, it's set up for a Duke Florida, but we know anything can happen here. Cooper Flag, this team is absolutely loaded there. Arkansas, Texas Tech, Coach Cal was the wrong hire. He got to the campus and he looked, his whole roster was gone. He didn't even have a team. And look at this. He's in the Sweet 16. 5.5-point underdogs at Texas Tech. Maryland and Florida opened at 5, now 6.5 there. Michigan, Auburn opened at 8, now 9. Not the Fab Five, but we talked about Dusty May all year. Yeah. And the good thing is they hit a slump. But this is how good of a coach he is. He brought that team back together. I think their last loss, he threw the tape away. He goes, I want that team that started the year back. And boom, he's got them back there. Mississippi, Michigan State opened at 4, now 3. Coaching does matter. Chris Beard is just phenomenal. Yeah. Absolutely phenomenal. And the rumor has it, Indiana wants him. It'll be interesting if he wants to stay in the SEC or go to Indiana. So keep your eyes on that. Purdue, Houston opened at 8, now 7.5. So again, Big Ten getting some play here. A 132.5. First one to 65 wins that game. And last but not least, what's this? Part 4. Kentucky, Tennessee. Tennessee opened at 5.5, now 4.5 with a 144.5 there, Riley.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. You said it, Chris Beard, obviously. I third stop in 4 or 5 years, so I'm curious to see if he wants to jump somewhere else. But Indiana's at a spot where, especially when you get into the NIL era and the opportunities that you have, if you have the right guy, they're desperate for a not just a winning coach, but a championship contending coach. So if they can get their hands on Chris Beard, that is a slam dunk for them. And like you said, though, does he want to stay in this SEC that has elevated now into an absolute wagon year in and year out is to be seen. Kentucky, Tennessee going to be another interesting one. And last thing on Michigan, I mean, shout out to the way they finished that game against Texas A&M. Texas A&M, I think you would say, is probably the better team and was playing better than them for 35 minutes. And then, Michigan just did not blink, did not give up. So credit to them on that one. I was Texas A&M along with Maryland. Texas A&M was my way of differentiating in my brackets and going on a long run. So I that one stung me quite a bit on that one, despite it being one of my Big Ten teams there. But curious to see what we get next. I will still stand by. I am going to be surprised if there's a Big Ten team cutting down the nets. But there's good Big Ten teams. I'm not going to sit here and say it can't happen, but. If I'm a betting man, it's coming out of one of these other conferences once again this year for the 25th year in a row. No Big Ten teams cutting down the nets. That's where I'm still at, my friend.
Well, I'm going to read hot off the press here from the Circa app. Championship odds. So there's 16 teams left. If you're not in, you can still get in. Alabama 18-1, Arizona 45-1, Arkansas plus 9,000. Auburn plus 500, BYU 65-1. Duke is now plus 225 as the favorite. Florida is now the second favorite at plus 370. Houston plus 450. Kentucky 6,000. Maryland 3,000. Michigan 7,000. Michigan State 18-1. Ole Miss 85-1. And last but never least, Purdue at 65-1, Tennessee 16-1, and Texas Tech at 20-1.
Yeah, I'm looking at this, and I am. I mean, Michigan State is still enticing at 22-1. I would just be so surprised if they. I mean, their potential path would be not only getting through, a tough game this upcoming week here. Against Chris Beard and Ole Miss, they would then have to potentially get through Auburn if that draw goes accordingly. Then they would potentially have to get through Florida, I think, after that. So I would just a lot of my reason why I don't think Michigan State or anyone else can do it is I just don't see them going through that type of gauntlet of Auburn, Florida, and then maybe like a Houston after that. It would shock me if one of these teams could do that. That isn't named Auburn, Duke, Houston, maybe Alabama. Alabama's the one team that at some point the wheels are going to fall off and they're not going to look good. Alabama is on their best day. They can mess around with anybody. But any of these other teams, I'm not quite buying it to cut down the nets.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this, I expect Duke to beat Arizona. The BYU Alabama, I'm still alive in the Survivor contest. I went Purdue, and then I took UConn over Oklahoma because I was like, they're not going to beat Florida. The third team I took, I'm drawing a blank here. And last night I took Arizona over Oregon because I didn't expect Arizona to beat Duke. So I'm still alive. I got to the the second weekend. On paper, Duke to beat Arizona. BYU, Alabama, I might take Alabama because I don't expect them to beat Duke. But if BYU's hitting the threes and Alabama's not, it's thanks for playing. And they were hitting them against St. Mary's. But again, BYU, they're going to roll the ball out. Whoever hits the most threes is going to win that game. Yeah. Arkansas, Texas Tech. Again, I respect Texas Tech. They snuck through. Arkansas is playing with house money there. Florida, Maryland. Now, listen, that opened up at 5 for a reason. Maryland can play with Florida. There is absolute. Now, maybe the Florida can breathe now. They got through UConn, and we'll see that Florida team again. I expect Florida to find a way to win. Michigan, Auburn, again, I think Michigan playing with house money. I expect Auburn to get it done there. The Mississippi-Michigan State team game is intriguing to me. Yeah. I might have to use Michigan State and pray. But again, coach Izzo versus Beard, that's must-watch TV. Purdue, Houston, money coming in on Purdue because we know Houston is anemic offensively, but they can play defense. Purdue has looked as strong as ever. Hats off to Mr. Painter there. And Kentucky and Tennessee, again, opened up at 5.5. I respect that opening number. If Kentucky shoots like they did last night, well, guess what? They're going to beat Tennessee.
Yeah. That one I think could be anybody's best guess. But yeah, you've seen that script, and there's a couple games where it'll go one or two different ways, and you know it there. So I've got my stake is Ole Miss. I've got I do a takeover pool, and Ole Miss has been my team, so I've got them plus 2.5. Obviously, if they win, I keep them against potentially Auburn. Otherwise, a 1 or 2 point loss, and I'm taking over Michigan State into the next round. So I'm just holding out hope for my takeover pool there. And then as far as brackets are concerned, I don't know, we don't usually talk about this, but a Maryland Final Four trip, and I'd be, I'm not taking over the national prize or anything like that, but I might be in good shape for my local action going on.
That's I said Texas Tech was my dark horse, and I did use them. That was who I used as well. So I didn't hope for a deep run. I expected this though. So again, I might be when you're trying to make it to the Final Four and you're trying to keep Florida, you're trying to keep Duke, and I still have Auburn. Of course, I still have all the 4 number ones, but you sometimes you got to go into a game. And, I could go with Duke against Arizona. They're 9-point favorites, but I think Duke's probably playing in the championship game. So what good is it to get you through? So I'm tentatively leaning on Alabama, and I don't like it. And then I might have to then go with Michigan State. And again, I don't like that for the Thursday, Friday, if I get there to figure out Saturday and Sunday there. We got some NBA. We got some NHL. I'm going to go over to the NHL right now. Give everyone some team totals that I see here. If you give me 1 second here. Let me go over here. Team totals. Tonight, Vancouver, New Jersey, nothing there. If you like the Islanders to beat Columbus, you can take their team total over 3.5. Get that plus 130. If you like Dallas over Minnesota tonight, team total over 3.5, you can get that at plus 115. And if you like Utah to beat the Red Wings, you can get their team total over 3.5, and you can get that at even money. NBA tonight, sir?
NBA, we've got about, we're getting close to the end here, 10, 11, 12 games, depending on the team for the regular season here. So you got to look at kind of at a point where you're looking at motives. I mean, you got a lot of bad teams that are trying to lose games. You've got a couple scrappy middle-of-the-pack teams that are still fighting, my Bulls being one of them. They've got they're in Denver against the Nuggets without Jokic tonight. I don't know which side I'm interested in this one. I'm just saying, A, you got to obviously know that Jokic is out, and B, I'm not saying the Bulls are going to go on a run and get into the top 6. I'm not saying they're winning playoff games. I'm not saying any of that. They're at least playing well enough for a team that you would consider to be bad, especially if you're like, oh, these good teams need to win games right now. Let me find a bad team. They're playing harder than a lot of these other bad teams, and they're actually playing pretty well right now. So don't just at least take a look and make sure you know the Bulls aren't a total pushover right now like they have in the past there. Minnesota and Indiana, decent matchup here tonight. Both these teams, 41 wins. In the win column, this one is interesting. The total in this one has kind of been right around where these two teams have been. So this one could be an interesting one here, but this Pacers team at times is going flying over these totals. Minnesota as well sometimes. So I'm not in love with it, but kind of looking at the under in that one. You've got the Lakers in Orlando. Orlando can't string wins together despite how solid they were playing earlier in the season, kind of going back and forth. Lakers -4, I believe it is, in Orlando here. So another one where you still got to take a look at the injury report. Looks like LeBron and Luka are in tonight. But this Orlando team is interesting and a little inconsistent, so kind of a good team to stay away from altogether right now. Outside of that, let's see. You've got Milwaukee and Phoenix. Milwaukee is a weird team right now. They've got some injuries. Giannis appears to be good to go, but they are banged up quite a bit. Other than that, no Lillard tonight. And this Phoenix team has kind of been a little bit of a too little, too late surgence here. So another team that's for a while it was easy to fade this Suns team, but right now they're actually playing decent ball. I don't think it's going top 10 themselves right now, but or I'm sorry, they are in the 10 spot right now, but not in the top 8. So still got.
I think Riley's freezing up on us.
You got me?
There we go. There we go. We got you.
Okay. Sorry. I was wrapping it up anyways. It is about 30-mile-an-hour wind over here in northern Illinois, so I might be on my way out as far as Mother Nature pushing me on my way out.
Closing thoughts, sir.
Closing thoughts, nothing too crazy. Obviously, if you're licking your wounds from the weekend, take a break, take a breather, reassess for the if you're looking for March Madness. If it's the other way and you're like, man, I just robbed every casino in every vicinity from me. Let me see what else is going on here on this fine Monday night. Take a break, take your winnings and take a seat. I'm not saying you can't find some good stuff, but if you're just volume shooting here one way or another these past 4 days, maybe pump the brakes a little bit, whether it's been good or bad, I guess is my spot for you on that one. Because yes, there's some good action. Obviously, if you're a women's basketball fan, we've got all-day college basketball action again today that you're interested in. But if you're just the college basketball March Madness men's fan and you've been either good or bad and you're still dying for something, maybe take a couple days off and reassess on Wednesday, Thursday.
For myself, again, shout out to all our sponsors, WagerWire, Viva Tequila Seltzer, and, of course, Atlanta Steaks and Seafood. We're back. We got, I think, a month till potentially I'll be heading to Albuquerque, New Mexico, come back for 3 weeks, could be heading to South Carolina, Columbia, and then we'll start our New England tour as well. Sweet 16 coming up. Again, anyone bitching, yelling, screaming, oh, there was no Cinderellas and there was only one buzzer beater. Guys, embrace it. These are kids. These are kids. If you didn't like what you see, I'm going to put you in a timeout. Go sit and watch an NBA game from start to finish, okay? And you can't turn the channel, okay? And then you come back and you're like, damn, Jeff and Riley were right. Wow, I missed the college basketball. Yeah. Trust me on that. MLB starts on Thursday. We're excited for that. I'm going to reach out to Scotty Webb, see if we can get Scotty out here. He's been doing his own thing in Florida here. We'll get a temperature report on the Tampa Bay Rays there. Tomorrow, 10:15, Andrew McGinnis back from Wager Talk. He'll be talking about some NHL. And then we'll get the NCAA Insiders back, talking some midweek college baseball. I think week 7 now there. Wednesday, Brady Cannon will be talking PGA as we get closer to the Masters. Thursday, Adam Trigger will be back. Wager Talk, talking some college hoops. And Thursday afternoon, Lou Finacaro, Fight Night Fortunes, Mexico City. And then Friday, NCAA Insiders will be back talking the weekend, the Friday Night Lights, college baseball. And then we'll have Sean Alvarez, Smooth Turn 2, will be talking some horse racing. And then me and Riley will be back Wednesday and Friday, correct?
Yes, sir. We're ready to go.
All right. Any questions, comments, concerns, you can find me at EC Sports Invest. Send me a DM. Check out our website at eastcoastsportsinvestors.com or go to my profile at EC Sports Investors if you're interested. We have partnered with Dub Club as well. I just put up a package, MLB opening day, and we get some NBA and NHL playoffs there. Nice discount there for Dub Club there. So for myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Investor, one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. We wish everyone a blessed day. Thank you all for the love and support. We can't do it without you. Have a blessed evening, and we'll see you soon.